Professional sports is a world where everything can change in a single moment. For years, women's basketball slowly built its place in the sports world. Loyal fans and talented athletes kept the league alive through difficult times. Then new names suddenly began dominating headlines. Caitlin Clark. Her arrival didn't just bring attention, it sparked conversations across the entire sports world. Stadiums filled with new fans. Highlights spread across social media. Even people who had never watched a WNBA game before started tuning in. But when rapid success arrives, it doesn't only bring excitement, it also brings pressure, debate, and a story that's far bigger than just one player stepping onto the court. For most of its history, the WNBA existed in a very different reality than the one fans are seeing today. The league had incredible athletes, intense rivalries, and championship moments, but it rarely captured the full attention of the global sports audience. Games were often played in smaller arenas, TV coverage was limited, most of the conversation stayed within a small but loyal fan community. The players who carried the league through those years worked relentlessly to build its reputation, traveling across the country, competing at the highest level, and proving that women's basketball deserved respect. Slowly, season by season, the foundation of the sport grew stronger. But even with all that effort, the league was still searching for the moment that could push it fully into the mainstream sports spotlight, and that moment was closer than anyone realized.
They're kind of doing some drills here. Let's see them cook up for a little bit. Chelsea, no look. Caitlin, side dribble. Main thing is they're enjoying themselves, man. I love it. Okay, Angel to Stu, easy work. It seems like Caitlin is hanging with Kelsey a lot. Paige always yelling. Paige yelling about anything these days.
Then came the moment that shifted everything. Long before she ever stepped onto a professional court, Caitlin Clark was already turning college basketball into must-watch television. Her deep three-pointers and fearless confidence made her impossible to ignore. Highlight clips spread across the internet almost instantly. Fans who normally ignored women's basketball suddenly found themselves staying up late to watch her. Games, entire arenas filled with people wearing her jersey, and television networks started realizing something unusual was happening. Viewership numbers were climbing at a pace few expected. By the time Clark declared for the WNBA draft, the excitement was already massive. The league had rarely seen anything like it. It wasn't just about a talented rookie entering the league. It felt like the arrival of a player who had already built a massive audience before even playing her first professional minute. And as that audience followed her into the WNBA, the entire basketball world began paying attention in a way it never had before. It didn't take long for people to start noticing that something unusual was happening whenever Caitlin Clark's team appeared on the schedule. Ticket demand surged almost instantly. Arenas that once had plenty of empty seats suddenly reported sellout crowds. Broadcast numbers began climbing, and clips from her games spread across social media within minutes. Analysts and commentators started calling it the Caitlin Clark effect, a phrase meant to describe how one player seemed to be pulling millions of new eyes toward the sport. But the impact wasn't limited to just one team. Other franchises across the league began benefiting from the increased attention as well, with higher attendance when Clark's team visited their cities. Sponsors, networks, and league executives quickly noticed something. The audience for women's basketball might be far bigger than anyone expected. Yet with all this excitement came a new reality. When a single player becomes the center of so much attention, the entire balance of the league's spotlight begins to shift. And not everyone feels comfortable with that change. As the spotlight on women's basketball grew brighter, the conversation around the league started to change. The surge of new fans brought excitement, but it also brought debate. Many longtime supporters of the sport began pointing out that the WNBA had been built over decades by veteran players who carried the league through years when the attention was far smaller. Names like Diana Taurasi, Breena Stewart, and many others had spent their careers pushing the game forward, often without the massive audiences now appearing on television. So when the spotlight suddenly centered on one new star, discussions quickly emerged about recognition and respect. Some fans celebrated the new momentum, seeing it as the breakthrough moment the league had always needed. Others worried that the narrative around the sport was becoming too focused on a single player. rather than the collective talent across the league. What started as excitement around a rookie slowly turned into one of the most talked about floor.
Mind you, look at the teams while y'all looking too. Look, Angel knocking him down, dog. I know it's quick. Caitlin with the game winner. Caitlin with the game winner, dog. Got the stun on him. Come on, man.
Debates. In modern women's basketball, while fans debated the spotlight on the court, another conversation was unfolding quietly behind the scenes. Professional sports, after all, are not just about competition, they are also about business. League executives, team owners, and broadcasters constantly study numbers like television ratings, ticket sales, and sponsorship deals. And suddenly, many of those numbers were moving in a direction the WNBA had hoped for years to achieve. Games featuring Caitlin Clark were drawing larger audiences, merchandise sales were rising, and media coverage was expanding far beyond the usual sports headlines. At the same time, players across the league were continuing long-standing discussions about salaries, revenue sharing, and working conditions. The increased attention on the sport only made those conversations more important if women's basketball was entering a new era of popularity. The next question became unavoidable. How should that growth be shared? And what would the future business model of the league look like? As the debates continued, Caitlin Clark's influence began expanding beyond the WNBA itself. Her involvement with Team USA training camps and international competitions opened the door to a much larger stage. Global tournaments like World Cup, qualifiers, and the Olympics bring together the best players from around the world, drawing audiences that stretch far beyond American basketball fans. For Clark, these events represent more than just another competition. They offer a chance to grow her presence internationally and introduce even more viewers to the sport. Every highlight from these games spreads across global sports networks and social media platforms, bringing new attention to women's basketball. And with that attention comes an important realization. The growth of the sport is no longer limited to one league or one country. The game is becoming part of a much bigger global conversation. Now the sport stands at a fascinating crossroads. On one side, there is a league that has spent decades building its identity through persistence, talent, and the dedication of generations of players. On the other side, there is a sudden surge of global attention fueled by new stars, viral moments, and an audience that seems larger than anyone predicted. Fans, media analysts, and league executives are all watching closely to see what happens next. Will this wave of popularity transform the entire business of women's basketball, creating more opportunities for every player in the league? Or will the pressure of rapid growth create new challenges that the sport must learn to navigate? One thing is certain, the story unfolding right now is bigger than any single game or season. It's about the direction of the sport itself and the decisions made in the coming years.
It's special for you. Man, I think, this is every kid's dream. I think I wrote it down when I was in like 3rd grade. So just excited about this opportunity. And I remember Kara Callan talking to us, like when me and Paige, and I know AB isn't here, but even I played with Ryan on the U19 team. Like on the junior national teams, there's only going to be like a couple of you that end up making it to make a senior debut. So whether that's the World Cup, whether the World Cup qualifier, whether that's, the Olympics, every single part of it and part of the journey is really special. So I know we're a ways away even from the World Cup and obviously a ways away from the Olympics, but this is still really exciting in itself and kind of the
could shape women's basketball for an entire generation, with all eyes suddenly on the league. The pressure surrounding every decision has grown dramatically. Fans aren't just watching the games anymore, they're watching the entire direction of the sport. Every interview, every highlight, and every major announcement becomes part of a much bigger conversation about where women's basketball is headed. League executives are thinking about expansion, broadcasters are studying rising viewership numbers, and sponsors are beginning to see opportunities that didn't exist just a few years ago. At the same time, players across the league understand that moments like this don't happen often. When a sport finally captures widespread attention, the way that momentum is handled can shape its future for decades. The excitement surrounding new stars, the experience of veteran players, and the growing interest from fans around the world are all colliding at the same moment. And whether people realize it or not, The decisions made during this period could determine how big women's basketball becomes in the years ahead. What makes this moment so fascinating is that no one truly knows how the story will end. Women's basketball is experiencing a level of attention that many people in the sport dreamed about for years. New fans are discovering the game, arenas are filling with energy, and the spotlight on the league is brighter than ever before. At the same time, moments of rapid growth often bring difficult questions about leadership, opportunity, and how success should be shared among everyone involved. For players, executives, and fans alike, the next few seasons could determine whether this surge becomes a lasting transformation or simply a brief chapter in the league's long journey. What's clear is that the sport has reached a turning point. The choices made now, on the court and behind the scenes, will shape the future of women's basketball and decide how this era will be remembered years from now.